Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Surabhi Sharma. Here are the top stories we are tracking for you on Wednesday, the 31st of October. India inaugurates world's tallest statue to celebrate independence hero. Pakistani Islamists protest as Christian woman freed in blasphemy case. And suicide blast kills at least 6 near prison in Afghanistan. And now for all the details, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday inaugurated the world's tallest statue dedicated to one of India's founding fathers, Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, on the occasion of his 143rd birth anniversary. The 597 feet Statue of Unity towers nearly twice the height of New York's Statue of Liberty. India on Wednesday inaugurated the world's tallest statue, a $400 million effigy of independence hero Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel that towers nearly twice the height of New York's Statue of Liberty. The 597 feet steel and bronze Statue of Unity in Indian Prime Minister's Western Home Province, Gujarat, is part of his Hindu Nationalist Party's effort to rebrand what it calls forgotten leaders. Modi ordered the statue built on the Narmada River when he was Gujarat's Chief Minister.
भाइयों और बहनों, दुनिया की ये सबसे ऊंची प्रतिमा पूरी दुनिया को, हमारी भावी पीढ़ियों को उस व्यक्ति के साहस, सामर्थ्य और संकल्प की याद दिलाती रहेगी.
Depicting the bald Patel in traditional attire with a shawl over the shoulders, the statue used 210,000 cubic meters of cement, 25,000 tons of steel and 1,700 tons of bronze. Patel, the first Interior Minister of independent India, is credited for his contribution to unite India's 562 princely states. 2 terrorists were gunned down by security forces in an encounter in Pulwama district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province on Tuesday evening. Officials said the slain terrorists belong to Pakistan-based terror outfit Jaish-e-Mohammed.
2 terrorists belonging to Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group were killed in an encounter with security forces on Tuesday evening in Pulwama district of India's northern Jammu and Kashmir province. The encounter started after the security forces launched a cordon and search operation in a village in Tral region of the district, following a specific tip-off about the presence of terrorists. The slain terrorists were identified as Shaukat Ahmed, a resident of Handura village in Tral, and Usman from Pakistan. This comes a day after 5 security personnel were injured in a terror attack in Srinagar city of the province. India accuses Pakistan of arming terrorists and infiltrating them across the border to spread unrest in Kashmir Valley. Pakistan denies the charge.
In news from Pakistan, supporters of ultra-religious parties took to the streets in parts of Pakistan on Wednesday following a Supreme Court verdict acquitting and ordering the release of Asia Bibi, a Christian woman sentenced to death over blasphemy allegations. Human rights groups say blasphemy laws are increasingly being exploited by religious extremists as well as ordinary Pakistanis to settle personal scores. Supporters of the ultra-religious Tehreek-e-Labbaik Pakistan took to the streets in several parts of the country on Wednesday following a Supreme Court verdict acquitting and ordering the release of Asia Bibi, a Christian woman sentenced to death over blasphemy allegations. Asia Bibi, a mother of 4 in 2010, became the first woman to be sentenced to death under Pakistan's draconian blasphemy laws, a claim she denies. She allegedly made derogatory remarks about Islam after neighbors objected to her drinking water from their glass because she was not Muslim. Paramilitary troops were deployed in capital Islamabad to prevent protesters from reaching the Supreme Court, where security for the judges were beefed up as the verdict was announced.
फैसला ये किया गया कि दोनों नीचे वाली ट्रायल कोर्ट की और उसके बाद जो फर्स्ट एपीलेट कोर्ट लाहौर हाई कोर्ट की जजमेंट है उसको सेट साइड कर दिया गया और आसिया मसीह को एक्विट कर दिया गया.
All of Pakistan's minorities feel that the state fails to protect them and even tolerates violence against them. Bibi's case had outraged Christians worldwide and had been a source of division within Pakistan, where two politicians who sought to help Bibi were assassinated. Moving on, people displaced and affected by Diamer-Bhasha dam project have demanded resettlement and compensation in illegally occupied region of Gilgit Baltistan. They expressed concerns about their future and blamed Islamabad is not serious to resolve the issues.
Diamer-Bhasha Dam Affected People Committee recently staged a demonstration at Gilgit Baltistan Press Club demanding resettlement and compensation. Committee members said the affected people in the illegally occupied region are concerned about their future and blamed that the Pakistani government was not serious to resolve the issue. They also lambasted Pakistan's Water and Power Development Authority of designing a ploy to disentitle the public of any compensation.
के साथ 25 फरवरी 2010 को एक वायदा हुआ और दोनों फरीकैन को इस वायदे की पासदारी का पाबंद करार देकर अमल दरामद शुरू किया गया। इस वायदे में मुतासरीन ने दियामर-भाषा डैम को मुख्तलिफ मॉडल विलेज बनाना तय हुआ था, मगर अफसोस के हस्ब रवायत तमाम मनसूबाबंदी सिर्फ कागजों और ब्यूरोक्रेसी और वापडा हुकाम के हिले कानून की नज़र होकर
More than 90% of land acquisition for the Diamer-Bhasha dam project has been completed. However, no compensation has yet been paid to the affected people. Uncertainty and apprehensions are looming large among the public. The project has not only ravaged the natural resources of the illegally occupied territory, but has also left scores of people homeless and poverty-stricken.
In news from Afghanistan, a suicide attack near Afghanistan's biggest prison in Kabul city killed at least 6 people on Wednesday. The attack was the latest in a wave of violence that has killed and wounded hundreds across Afghanistan this year.
A suicide bomber blew himself up near the gate of Afghanistan's largest prison on Wednesday, killing at least 6 people and wounding 3. Afghanistan's Interior Ministry spokesperson Najib Danish said the attacker detonated his explosive near a vehicle of the employees of the Pule-Charki prison in capital Kabul city. The sprawling prison houses hundreds of inmates, including scores of Taliban fighters. However, no militant group, including the Taliban, claimed responsibility for the blast. The attack comes 2 days after at least 2 people were killed and 7 wounded in another suicide attack outside the Independent Election Commission office in Kabul city. A wave of election-related violence has killed and wounded hundreds across the country in recent months, as the Taliban and the Islamic State step up attacks on Afghan security forces and government workers.
More news from Afghanistan. Afghanistan, with the support of UNICEF, on Tuesday launched the first ever menstrual hygiene management guideline for teachers on the occasion of Girls' Hygiene Day in the country. The guideline is complemented by comic and simplified materials for adolescent girls, both in and out of schools.
Afghanistan's Ministry of Education, with the support of UNICEF and other ministries, celebrated Girls' Hygiene Day on Tuesday and launched the first ever menstrual hygiene management or MHM guideline for teachers in the country. The guideline is complemented by comic and simplified materials for adolescent girls, both in and out of schools, UNICEF said in a statement. Its main aim is to break taboos and raise awareness about the importance of good menstrual hygiene among women in Afghanistan.
با توجه نمودن به نظافت و حفظ صحت شخصی، آنها بالای بدنشان بیشتر کنترل می داشتند باشند و این امر اعتماد به نفس دختران را افزایش می دهد.
دوره قاعدگی یک پروسه فیزیولوژیک بوده یا طبیعی است که متاسفانه بنابر دلایل مختلف چون سطح دانش پایین، نرم‌های اجتماعی و کمبود تسهیلات مناسب برای حفظ و نظافت، خانم‌ها نمی‌توانند به گونه مناسب به صحتشان در این دوره رسیدگی نمایند.
The first ever Girls' Hygiene Day in Afghanistan was marked last year under the slogan, "Nothing can stop me going to school," to raise national awareness of the importance of girls' hygiene. While menstruation is a biological and a normal phenomenon, UNICEF's 2016 formative research on MHM found that lack of knowledge and facilities is a major reason why girls often miss school while menstruating, sometimes resulting in dropping out of school.
Moving on to news from Sri Lanka, thousands of protesting supporters of Sri Lanka's ousted Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe on Tuesday brought parts of capital Colombo to a standstill as political turmoil on the island nation entered its fifth day. Sri Lanka was plunged into crisis last Friday when President Maithripala Sirisena sacked Wickremesinghe and sworn in ex-President Mahinda Rajapaksa to replace him. More than 10,000 supporters of Sri Lanka's ousted Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe protested against his sacking, bringing many parts of the capital city, Colombo, to a standstill on Tuesday. Refusing to accept his sacking, the protesters gathered near Wickremesinghe's residence to hear him speak and demanded President Maithripala Sirisena to preserve democracy. Wickremesinghe said his sacking was illegal and he maintained that he was still Prime Minister and had the support of a majority of members of Parliament.
රටේ ජනතාව එක සමාන භුක්ති විඳින්නේ ප්‍රජාතන්ත්‍රවාදයේ සර්වජන ඡන්දය පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ නිසා. අන්න ඒ අයිතිවාසිකම් ආරක්ෂා කරන්න තමයි අපි ඉදිරියට ගියේ. ඒත් අවාසනාවන්ත අපි නොහිටපු අවස්ථාවක මෛත්‍රීපාල සිරිසේන ජනාධිපතිතුමා මේ වරම කඩලා පාර්ලිමේන්තුව පැත්තකට දාලා ජනිත විධායක බලය ජනාධිපති අතට ගන්න.
Sri Lanka was plunged into crisis last Friday when President Maithripala Sirisena sacked Wickremesinghe and sworn in ex-President Mahinda Rajapaksa to replace him. The crisis has important ramifications in a battle for influence in South Asia between Sri Lanka's traditional ally India and China, a country that's playing an increasing role in the region. Bangladesh and Myanmar on Tuesday agreed to begin by November the repatriation of hundreds of Rohingyas who fled to Bangladesh to escape a military crackdown by Myanmar army. The two countries first reached a deal last November to begin repatriation within 2 months, but it has not started.
Bangladesh and Myanmar on Tuesday agreed to begin by mid-November the repatriation of hundreds of Rohingyas who have fled to Bangladesh to escape an army crackdown. More than 700,000 Rohingya refugees crossed from the west of mostly Buddhist Myanmar into Bangladesh from August last year when Rohingya insurgent attacks on the Myanmar security forces triggered a sweeping military response.
We are looking forward to start the repatriation by mid-November.
Next month.
Next month.
Yes.
Mid-November. It is the first group.
First phase, we call it. Yes.
And just a minute.
No.
You also know that the two joint members of the two joint working group will be going together to Cox's Bazar to meet Rohingya populations. There they will also try and encourage those people who have left northern Rakhine as to go back in safety and security.
And then we came up with the very concrete results on the commencement of the repatriation.
The two countries reached a deal in November last year to begin repatriation within 2 months, but it has not started. Members of the mostly stateless Rohingya minority are still crossing the border into Bangladesh. Right groups say conditions back in the north of Myanmar's Rakhine province, where most of the refugees are from, are not ready for a repatriation.
Well, that's all we have for you from South Asia this evening. Now our viewers can watch the show on southasianewsline.com. You can also visit us on facebook.com/SAsia Newsline and follow us on Twitter @SAsia Newsline. That's all in tonight's edition. We will see you same time tomorrow. Good night.